Hi everybody and welcome to Base Hit Cookies presents Talking Baseball. I'm Ed Randall. We greet you from inside Mickey Mantle's restaurant on Central Park South with the third winningest all-time manager, Sparky Anderson. It is great to finally have you on the show. We were going to do this in 1994 and then something called the strike intervened and you gave me your word and you were a man of your word and I'm thrilled to have you here.
It's nice to be here. I've never been in this restaurant and it's really a quaint place. I can see why everybody wants to come here.
Tell me, if you will, about this report recently in the Detroit News that has you already leaving the Detroit Tigers.
Well, you know, I'm not going to deny anything, because if I deny and then I leave, then that's a lie. I will say this, that John McHale, our president, is marvelous and has given me all the room and latitude to make a decision, and I am going to make it while we're on the last road trip. You know, we're going to make the decision, me and my wife, and I talk every day to her about it. A lot of things go through my mind. I don't want to be somewhere too long, which I feel like I maybe have. And the other reason is this club in Detroit is going to be the youngest team in baseball next year on the field. I myself believe I owe the people of Detroit something, that it's time maybe for a young first-year manager to come in where he can be with those kids for 7-8 years. Where myself, I'm only going to manage 3, 4, 5 more years. It would be like me recruiting a young player to college and then I leave him. I don't want to do that. So those are the things I go through my mind.
Fine, but where does this talk come from that, well, they need a young manager for all these young players in Detroit? That sounds ridiculous, because
it is ridiculous.
One of your enduring attributes has been the fact that through the years you handle young players. There's never been insurrections in your locker rooms.
It's still my strongest strength. No, that was something where a guy made it up. You know, come up with a thing. And sometimes you must remember, you have to have something to write.
You need a justification.
And I wrote enough columns in 17 years for him there. I don't know what someone was going to do without me if I do decide to leave.
I don't know.
Because I wrote their columns for them.
I must say, working as a reporter through the years, and I'm not saying this because you're here, it's the truth. I've told other people this. You're the only guy that writers don't want to leave the office after you finish talking. You take out the pipe, you load it up, and we're going to sit around and we're just going to talk baseball, which is why we have you on this show.
Well, just let me say one thing for children out there that are watching. They don't ever have to play professional, but they must love this game. If it's going to be from a fan standpoint, love it. Don't just be a fan. Love the game itself. Casey Stingles, the Babe Ruth, the Joe DiMaggio's, and God bless his heart, Mickey Mantle's, Willie Mays, they all came, and they're all gone. And I have come, and I'll be gone. Casey is the greatest, my favorite, and he's gone. But the game itself will always be here, because the people, those people I named, they love the game so much. They preserve this for the kids to come on, and the other kids that come on must have that same feeling.
And we're going to talk about trying to preserve that feeling. We are with Sparky Anderson, surpassed in wins as a manager by 2 legends, Connie Mack and John McGraw. A lot more with Sparky Anderson from inside Mickey Mantle's restaurant on Central Park South right after these messages, and we're so glad you're with us on Prime Network. Welcome back to Talking Baseball from Mickey Mantle's restaurant in the heart of New York City. From Maine to Miami, from Seattle down to San Diego, we're talking baseball 12 months a year as the nation's only year-round baseball talk show. This is our 8th year of doing so, and we welcome you wherever you may be watching, and we are pleased and honored to finally have with us Sparky Anderson. There is something that you have in your collection at home in Thousand Oaks, California, that nobody in the world has.
Nobody in the world ever has had, and nobody in the world ever again will have. I have a ball signed by the Pope, and it was given to me 2 years ago on my 60th birthday. And the Monsignor of Florida, when he went to see the Pope, had it hidden in his briefcase and took it, and during his audience with him, he asked him if he would, and the Pope asked him, naturally, not in English. He asked him, what is baseball? And then he showed him an 8x10 picture of me, and he still didn't understand. But he said, if this is something special, I will do it. He signed it in Latin, and it signed it, bless you, my son, and it signed his name. He never puts the Pope, and I didn't know this about him. He never signs the Pope. He signs his full name. And it's in a glass container, in a crystal holder, in a big gold thing that it sets in. And there's nobody in the world will ever get that. And some people say that there's no limit on how much it's worth. Well, they don't have to worry about it because they're not leaving my home.
And there's no truth to the rumor that there's a Tigers hat in Castel Gandolfo somewhere.
No,
right?
I will say this. I know one thing. The Pope has no power over baseball. In 1995 wouldn't have been the way it was.
You have said that, when guys invoke the deity about, God should help me to do this, get a hit or whatever, that, go ahead.
God bless you at birth. I believe this. Just like I believe that God blessed my mother and said, your son someday will have all these marvelous things happen to you, because that's the only way it could happen. We do not make this happen ourselves. Things happen. Why? You're led in a direction, and that direction turns to another alley, and that alley turns to the castle, and there you are. I believe so strongly, don't ask for things. You were always given this. Use what God gave you. He gave you this brilliant success as an athlete. He gave you the brilliance to have all these things to do it with. Don't ask him now for more favors to help you out, to get a hit or win a game, something. No, I never have asked to win a game in my life. A lot of times I wished I would have, but I never have.
Let me stretch that just a little bit farther. In all your years, how many games does a manager win?
My theory on that is none, and I mean that. I believe this, that the great ones stop you from losing a game the players had won. I believe the players win them all. But I think the great managers are the managers that were able to hold on to a victory for his club that they already had won. But he didn't win it. He was able to put the right people in the position to preserve what they had won. And so many guys, I think, make a terrible mistake when they honestly believe, and I've known some, that they really think they're winning them. Well, I hate to disappoint them from an old man, but they're not winning nothing.
Do managers then lose games?
Yes.
There's a bottom.
Yes.
There's a bottom of that coin.
Yes. The manager can lose them, because for this reason, them players have went out there and got this thing won. Now he can turn around and make bad decisions and lose this for them. So I say this: a manager can hurt his players, but he can't help them win.
We are with manager Sparky Anderson, 26 years, a major league manager, the last 17 with the Detroit Tigers, and we'll continue with him as Talking Baseball rolls on from Mickey Mantle's restaurant on Central Park South right after these words from our affiliated systems here on Prime Network.